Hello, guys. You're most welcome on the stream today. This is Onyx from Onyx Games, and I'm streaming again from Poland today. I'm visiting my family, and anyway, you're most welcome here. Uh, I'm developer of a game called Janosik 2. I did game Janosik 1, which you can play free on GOG and Steam, and you're most welcome to play it. But today we will chat kind of um, about subject that is a little bit different than Janosik. It's kind of more loose subject, how to finish your indie game. Uh, I did one game that, well, actually, I did two games that I finished. So I have a little bit of experience in that matter. But, well, I found loads of tips and tricks that I prepared in my document here. So we'll go through that. Digger is with me. Hello, Digger. It's great to have you here. We'll chat today about how to finish the game.
Hello.
How are you today? How are you
Uh,
getting on?
I think you know how I'm feeling right now. It's pretty
Yeah,
warm.
uh,
I'm melting
me too.
again.
Yeah, me too, man. It's just very, very hot today.
Yeah.
But from the other point of view, after the stream, we can enjoy the nice warm evening. So that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
I will open windows everywhere and I will enjoy the cold wind, I think.
I think I will follow your advice as
Yeah.
well. Well, maybe we'll remind what we were talking last time, how to start the game, and in summary, prepared a couple points. Um, what to do if you want to start the game. So basically, I quickly go through all the points. Choose the project you like, plan your work, find community who can help with the project, choose the right programs for you, get feedback. That's all important points. I don't know if I forgot about something,
You don't have
Digger.
to be rich to start your game. Costs you
No,
almost
yes,
nothing.
yes, that's right. We did the math, and it was, I think, something like 50 euros
Yeah.
uh, to start, to get programs. Some programs are even free. So basically, if you want to start the game, you don't have to invest anything. Uh, like I mean, in money. You just need to invest your time and find the idea and get to it and start working on it. And community, I think we are talking about community. That's really huge help because well, generally, if you don't know something, you can find almost ready solutions and you can implement that in your game. If let's say you don't have talent to make music or graphics, there are websites that can provide graphics for even for free. Depends on the license, but I recommend opengameart.org. I will I will find out actually. Uh, we'll open um, we will open the browser here. Open game art. Oh, yes, that's the website, opengameart.org. And you can find their music, you can find graphics and sounds, and probably a couple other things like, I don't know, 3D objects and things like that. Depends what the game you're working on. If it's 3D, you might need some 3D objects. But there is plenty of 2D objects for sure because um, I visited this website very very often, and I know. So it's great thing. If you want, also you can also if you find the project that you like, let's say this cat. you can check the license. It's important thing. This is public domain license, which means you can use that as ever as you wish. You can um, change it even, and you can even charge money for that, and no one will get any objections. So so that license is good, but also there are other licenses. Depends on the project. Depends on the project. Let's see those house. That's public domain. It's so many free things on the internet, Digger. I have to tell you, I don't know. It's just people are so nice to add those things. Uh, Another one, public domain. I have to admit that I add a couple of things as well there, and I use exactly the same method and the same license, public domain. I have font there and couple animations of um, some enemies and tile map for construct too.
You're a
And
nice guy as well. You're sharing your
uh,
stuff.
thank you. I think it's good to do that because I use those things as well. So maybe I can give something in return.
Yeah.
I don't have any talent in music, for instance. So for Janosik one, I found oh actually I write this in here and we'll see you honey.
CTSG have a great tip how to release your indie game. Don't
Yeah.
forget to make a copy on the other disk because your disk can die and you lose everything. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
speaking from
true.
experience, yes. Maybe we can
That's
read that loudly. Speaking from experience, one of the things you should do if you want to finish your indie game is to back up your projects just in case your HDDD would die, making lose a couple of months of progress. And that's a very valid point, I have to say. Uh, I I work actually in the cloud now, and so I use Dropbox and Google Drive as well. And it's great thing there because you can also go back in history of the file.
yeah.
If, for instance, it happened to me that I saved my file, it was corrupted for some reason, and I was able to click on that file and see history and the file from 10 minutes before the save, the last save was okay, and that saved me loads of time. So another good tip would be maybe to use um, uh, cloud saving.
So we lied a bit with price because you have to buy the cloud for your project as well. So it will be
Oh,
a
yes,
bit
yes.
more.
A bit more, yes, yes. Well, Dropbox and Google Drive
Oh,
could
you
be
don't.
free.
Oh, free. But it's difficult to get it free. You have to uh, share a lot of friends, uh,
Oh,
and they have to create accounts. Yeah, it's a problem. I think it's the easiest way is just to pay monthly for the cloud.
I pay monthly for Google Drive because I
Mm.
reached the moment where I had to pay. But at the beginning, 15 gigabytes, I think it was 15 gigabytes.
Yeah. It's
It
15.
was it was pretty large, and I thought I will never use that. And eventually, I used that all, and I had to upgrade that. But well, at the beginning, at least at the beginning, for maybe couple months, you can use free. Well, it depends what size of the project. If it's pixel art, it's kind of not that big. So for I suppose couple months, you can still use Google Drive.
I
Uh,
was also one of those people that learned to use cloud in the painful way. I lost everything.
you did loans. Wow, what happened?
Yeah, my disk or
Your
this.
HDD.
Yeah,
That's exactly what
I don't remember what. Oh no! Oh yeah, I remember. I restarted the PC when the Windows got update, or my power supply went off. Something happened that during the Windows update, my computer just got turned off. And when I turned it on again, it was not working. And no files were savable
Found.
from that point.
Oh no.
And yeah, that was really painful. And
Probably.
since then I'm using
What was
cloud.
your reaction? I presume you were surprised. You were trying probably to
Well,
restore files or something.
I wasn't able to start the Windows in the first place. It was just turning on constantly. At some
Oh,
point, it just stopped working. The Windows stopped working when the um, password window pop out. It was not possible to do anything. It just instantly restart again. The restart, all over again. It was not possible to do anything. So I just had to send the PC back to the shop and ask them for anything that can save. Just do it. And in the end, they sent me something, but it was like 10% of the stuff I got, and it was
10%.
so random. I have no idea what happened with my PC. Since then, I just got my Dropbox working, and yeah, everything is on
Um,
Dropbox. I have few
exactly.
terabytes
Right there.
of data there already, so I'm
Problem
saving everything, everything.
problem solved. How many gigabytes you have in the Dropbox if you pay? Can
That depends. There's a few options. I pay uh, for 5 terabytes, I think.
5? Oh wow, that's huge. That's
Yeah,
huge.
I'm using
Probably
only 1 point something, uh, and the rest is on my. So I have in total I have something like 2 point something terabytes of data uh, right now. So it's stacking. It really stacks and really fast, especially when you work with videos. They are heavy. Usually they are heavy.
yeah,
So
because you are creator, so I
yeah,
understand with the videos they take loads of space.
yeah.
Um, CTSG said the same thing, HDDD. So confirmed, 100% confirmed. That what happens when you don't do updates. But then cloud saving, it's good thing, I think. Right. Oh, yes, I wanted to show you. That's the artist I found, Juhani Junkala. Um, Juhani Junkala. He did music for Janosik 1, which is actually, well, he posted that for free on opengamer.org, and well, that's that music. Everyone can use it. It's public domain, and I use that for Janosik 1. But now, because I like it so much, I contact this artist, and for Janosik too, I paid for a new music. So even if you do something for free, there is a big chance that people will like it and will contact you, and you will get some business. So I think maybe that's the reason actually people use the public domain license. Anyways. Uh, What else we talked last time? Find community. Well, that's a very important thing. Um, and the example was Open Game Art. Choose the right programs for you. Well, we chatted about that. Depends what what sort of engine you will be working on. There's plenty of engines, Unity or Godot, and I use Construct 3. It's pretty good engine, very simple to learn. So I recommend that. And the price for that, what was that? I think it was on promotion. It was something like 40 euros per year or something like that. So not too bad at all. But there is also, I think, someone mentioned last time that Construct 2, it's now absolutely for free. So you might start with Construct 2, full version free, and you can learn that engine. And then you can make Janosik 1 was made with Construct 2 actually, so that's pretty good engine. So you might even start with programs that you don't have to pay anything, pretty much zero, and get feedback. Get feedback. I think that's very important when you show the game to even friends, to colleagues, to everyone you can, and when you get kind of valid feedback, it's very important because game could be better, so you can improve things. So that's all what we talked last time, but today we will chat how to finish your indie game. And I prepared um, couple points, and I think that will be nice discussion. Well, the first very very simple one, very basic one, and it's kind of um, quite obvious. The size of the project matters. So I mean by that, um, it's better to start with small projects. I heard story couple weeks ago. It's on the YouTube. There was a guy who actually talked about the same thing, and he chat like he started couple project. He learned loads of different things. He added loads of different mechanics to his games, and it was crazy. Like he thought I will start with like MMO game with RPG elements and things like that. It was like too much, too big, and he never was able to finish those projects. And eventually, he got some breaks. He had different jobs and get back like a hobby to start another project, another big one. And eventually, what he did, he took um, he got into game jam, and he's supposed to do a game in 3 days or something like that. And he did a very very small game in a couple of days, and that game was quite good. And that was quite big step for him, because eventually he was able to he understood he can finish the projects. And from that small project, he upgraded that project. It took him he thought it will take a month, but eventually it took him 6 months actually to upgrade that project from game jam. And he released that, and he got some attention. And from that, he got started to get other project a little bit bigger. But the biggest thing in his mind was like he knew he can finish the project. And the key to that was to start with something small, not too big. Anyway, um, I suppose it's like with everything. If we learn, anything, music, or um, uh, I say, I don't know, if you start learning playing piano, it would be better if you start with, playing some small parts, instead of having something like, I don't know, Mozart or something like that, because you will be able to finish that. I don't know. What do you think, Digger, about that?
Mm, it's like with everything. If you bite too much, you will not be able to chew it. Just one step at a time. It's the same with the game creation. You have to make it slowly. Because if you bite too much, you don't even know that you are biting too much. Simple as that.
Yeah, yeah. Or even if you have project that is a little bit too big, maybe it's good to divide that to maybe small parts, and bite them like and chew them, just kind of part by part, and that might help as well, I think. Well, the other tip, the other thing on my list, is to be consistent. And I have a couple tips. Choose the project that you are excited about. Make a conscious decision to remain consistent. Have a plan. Know your objective. Do one thing at the time. So, well, it's again very obvious, but it's interesting that that a lot of things happens in your mind. So, like making conscious decision to remain consistent, and you want to be consistent. You want to spend every day a little bit on your game, and even couple minutes sometimes, because life happens. Kids might be they need your attention, or you need to go somewhere, or things like that. But even if you uh, every day do a little bit, it's better than don't if you don't do anything for a couple of days and you start doing everything at once. So that's not a good way to do. It's better to do every day a little bit. um I think the next one, have a plan, know your objective. You will like it, because last time, Digger, when we chat, you said, if you want if if you will prepare if you will start making game, you will start with the plan. So probably that will be something that you could like. Have a plan, and get an objective. um, so you know um, if you're planning something, if you want to finish the game, you probably should divide um, the plan to couple different things, uh, like getting graphics, work on maybe on music, or getting sounds. I think things like that. So if you have a good plan, it's always good. Not every
I
not every
think
time.
I will add something. I think that having a plan for your project and making it every day, constantly, it's good for your sanity. Because if you have no plan, then it's chaos. There's only chaos in your game, because you cannot decide how much time should I sacrifice for this, and because of that, you will sacrifice, for example, too much time, and things you try to create will backfire and make you think, why am I spending that much time on something so small? If you would have time,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that problem would not exist, and you would feel comfortable because you're sticking to your plan. And the same thing apply to the thing that you have work every day. If you not work every day constantly, you will be forced to make it, for example, in one day, and next day will be in next week, for example. And the things you will create will be so packed that you will have the same feeling. You're not able to finish something because you're not sacrificing enough time, maybe, for that thing. And
Absolutely,
maybe
absolutely.
and maybe another day you be thinking about it, and you have better idea. Okay, so now to apply this idea, I have to wait whole week for the day I'm working on it. And if that would be a different case, you would be able to apply this today because you're working on your game every day, constantly. So the changes, the new ideas, that may be better ideas, can be applied from one day to another. So that's also very helpful for you. You're creating something. And that's
So altogether, it's good to have plan, and go according the plan, but also be consistent, and do every day a little bit, even small things, but that together at the end, uh, you will see results. You will see results at the end.
and you will feel
Uh,
safer, much more comfortable working on it.
And a good thing you said. It's good for your sanity.
Yeah, it's really
Oh,
good.
I can imagine myself working under pressure and like, oh my goodness, I should do this, that. What should I do? And uh, I prefer the way when I have things to do and I know what to do. Not everything goes according to plan, and that's probably very obvious. Um, Sometimes you plan to do something in, I don't know, 3 days, and you will do that in 5 days or 6 days. But that's okay, especially in the games industry, because making game it's a very long process. It's very complex, many different parts. So it's quite natural that it takes time and there are delays. And we hear about those delays every time when games should be released. We heard that about what was the last one? Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Did you hear about
I was
yeah.
thinking about Cyberpunk, and you said delays. And that's
Yeah,
the
it's
biggest
almost like
one. Yeah, yeah.
when
Everyone
you
were
hear
waiting
delay.
for the Cyberpunk. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So it's natural. It's natural, but I think something wrong went there with Cyberpunk actually, and I have that in my um, points somewhere there. Oh, there, number 6. We don't have to go one by one, but don't restart project. And I heard that in Cyberpunk they restarted the project at some stage. They throw everything to the bin. The game should be more different from the earlier announcements. But at the end, we received a different product. So I heard
I
they
think
restarted
that
the project.
there is a bit difference between indie game and a big game like Cyberpunk,
Yes.
because
Oh,
um, well, this is big company. There's a lot of people working on the game, so this is different, absolutely different world, different story. When you create something, this whole game will be created by yourself, and your time is really precious. So don't throw your project like it was nothing, because you're basically losing this time you put into this work.
yes.
It's really drastic step to
It-
make. It's really drastic.
It's drastic, but sometimes people do that, not because they hate what they did. Um, it's at the beginning when you learn something um, uh, during the work on the project. You will reach the point when you look at the game and you think, um, uh, I learned so much. I could apply all the new things. And actually, it's probably better to start it all over again than keep it the things that I have. But I think that's a big mistake. It's better to finish the project because otherwise, you will never finish the project. You might give up at some stage because it's so much work. It's Another point on my list is don't be perfect. And I think those 2 points go together. Some people are perfectionists and they want everything perfect. And at some stage they give up because it's not perfect. I did that for a couple of projects as well. I finished games, but I started a couple of games as well myself. And I wasn't happy. I start once project again, and because of that, I it was too much work. So I'm talking about that from my point of view, from my experience. And I tell you, I put that one thing here. I stuck actually on animation. I was trying to make it perfect, and I did, I think, animation in some software, and it was like a couple frames. It was like walk animation, and I thought it would be better to have it more frames, so the walk would be kind of more fluid. And what happened? I wasn't happy, so I had more frames, and I think at the end I added 40 frames, and I hate it. It was even worse than at the beginning. The walk animation was like, I don't know, floating or something like that. So if you stuck on something and if you fixate on something, it might it might be even worse than at the beginning. It happened to me, and well, that's what it is. There is a
About
saying. Oh yeah, yeah.
about
Go ahead.
this, don't be perfect. I think biggest misunderstanding in perfection for between creators and players is the fact that it's really objective. There's there there doesn't exist a game that is perfect. It might be perfect for someone. The same thing applies to animation, for example. It might be perfect for someone, but for the other person, it's
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely terrible. Or another guy might even love it. It's there's perfection doesn't exist. So you don't have to be fixated. If you are happy, that's fine.
That's a valid point. I was chatting with someone about the same thing actually. You remind me, and that was my publisher actually, and he told me that it's better to do game for myself uh, and and release just for myself. If I'm happy with the game, with mechanics, with the I don't know, animations, and let's say if there is a um, jumping, the height of the jump or whatever, then it's fine. It's okay. Not everyone will be happy about that. Some people prefer tight mechanics or more floaty or whatever. They would say they need more shooting in the game, but you know what you want to do for yourself, and that's really good. And if you start making game for someone else, if you just start reading the comments and you think, oh, I made mistake, this is not great because someone is not happy, and I will try to fix it, I can make the game worse for myself and for also for other people that were happy actually about something, and that you know again it's just better to do game for myself when I'm happy because I know how I like it, and it's very hard to kind of guess what other people like. And if you read the comments and you're trying to make all the people happy, uh, eventually you will uh, be unhappy yourself. So well, um, let's see what other points. Well, maybe we go to that one. It's it happens, burnout, when you spend too much time on the project. It's a little bit tricky because we said before it's good to be consistent. It's good to have a plan. Uh, but you mentioned that it's good because for your sanity. But other thing for your sanity is, I think, to if you don't burn out, if you have holiday, for instance, if you have day offs uh, from work. Um, I have three tips: plan day off, have holiday, get inspired, travel and visit interesting places, and also another one at the end: restore your energy daily. It's a funny one, but I found that actually I go for tip number 3 here. I tell you maybe funny thing what I did. I found I think a website or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was like exercise for your mind where you had to kind of prepare a list of things that makes you happy, and those things are small. So, for instance, I'm quite happy when I go and get shower. I don't know, but I put that on my list anyway. I like maybe to watch the movie, or listen to music, things like that. So I prepare a couple things, and I prepared kind of a list. And even if I do a couple things from that list every day, like let's say I watch some nice movie, or listen to music that I like, that improves my level of energy, and that's a good thing. Do you have any tips actually about that? Do you think, or maybe you have maybe some ideas how to improve your energy level?
That's really depends on the person. For example, we're not the same, okay? Uh, so, for example,
Everyone is
for
different.
yeah,
Everyone is different.
for me, I just like to lay in the bed. that's, that's how I
Yeah.
calm myself down. I'm just laying. I also
And
like
get sleep, or just lie in the bed and
and just no during the day, not sleeping, just lay just on my back, thinking about few things. I also like just walking. Just go on the walk. I love it
walk.
as well.
I have that
Uh,
as well. I have that as well. Walk
I'm
is a good thing.
I'm
Walk is.
swimming in pool. Just
Oh, I
it's
love
just
swimming.
relaxing me, and I and especially I love thinking during those three things, because just doing this it might not be interesting, but I can gather my thoughts much faster when I walk, lay on bed or swim. It's just calming me. So that's my solution.
Yeah, yeah.
You just have to find your own, and this is the key.
Everyone is different. Everyone has his own way, and well, some people like to think when they walk or swim, but some people like to sit. So it depends. But maybe it's good thing to kind of realize what you like, put that on the list, and do them, because if you don't have holiday, even if it's not time for holiday, you need to restore your energy somehow. And when you work on big project like game, which takes months, you need that. You need that. But also, it's good to plan bigger holidays. Like, I don't know, 2 weeks or something like that. And uh, during that time, you don't have to even think about game or anything like that. You can just enjoy nature, weather, or whatever you like. And when you get back, you will be so excited and full of energy again. I know it's from my experience, it's so good to have holiday. Well, um, other thing maybe. Well, holiday. It's like travel and visit interesting places. It's almost the same, but some people really prefer traveling, and I mentioned about that. Visiting interesting places, or maybe um, talk with people that they have some different stories, and you might get some ideas for your game. You might see some maybe nice museums if you like museums, and see some interesting paintings, or if you like graphics, so that might inspire you. It doesn't have to, but it might. But probably it's good not to go and visit places on purpose, because you want to work. It's just good to go to places and visit places because you like to go there. I think simple as that. Don't mix that with work when you're on holiday.
I think this is the main idea. Just try to detach yourself from the project in a way you're not absorbed by it. Just do something absolutely different. What you will do, that's absolutely your choice. Just don't think about it, and that way it will just regenerate the how to say that power, the batteries for the job. This is the idea behind holidays in every job, not only on this. That's how we work. You just need
Exactly.
a break.
We all need to recharge our batteries. So it's a good thing to restore the energy. So don't burn out. That's a good thing. Couple tips what to do if you want to stay on top and have loads of energy. Well, build the game with intention to finish or intention to publish, because otherwise it's like a hobby project. I don't have anything against hobby projects because they're great, and sometimes it's those hobby projects can restore your energy if you work on real projects. But if it's not a hobby project, if it's like real real project, then probably it's good to have that intention to finish that, to get published. Otherwise, you you might stuck. You might kind of think that it's you can add more mechanics, you can add more things, you can change this and that, and eventually you can give up and don't finish the game. So if you have that intention that I making a game because that game is gonna be published, uh, that's the good approach. And uh, and that's that. That's really that. I don't know if I can add anything to that, but or unless you want to add something there, Digger.
Mm, I will ask you a question. How many points do we have? Because we have only 15 minutes.
We have 9 points altogether, and I think probably we did 4 or 5.
Okay,
Uh,
so I don't think we will be able to finish this. So I will not add anything. Just go to another point.
okay, okay. Well, we did couple, I will actually count it. Be consistent. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of 9. So we have 3 more. Maybe we'll finish.
Okay, okay.
Maybe
So
we'll.
just go, just go.
Yeah, we'll just.
I still have one question. Maybe that will be our
Oh yeah,
next
go for it.
subject
Go for it.
maybe that will be our whole subject for the next stream. But I
Yeah.
will ask on the end. Let's go with with
Okay.
this one.
Okay. Well, then another one. Be patient because it takes loads of time to build a game, and uh, I found a funny saying that how many. Sorry, there is how many days. Well, when you start working on the game, probably you heard that you start making a prototype. So there is no graphics really. There is couple mechanics, and you can see if that works. And or it's like this jam project where you have to finish something in 3 days. But basically, it's a prototype, and you can build prototype usually in a couple of days, and or I don't know, a couple of weeks, depends. But there is funny saying I found that how many days take to build prototype, then that many months will take to finish the game. Uh, Sometimes maybe even years. But basically, a prototype um, takes, I don't know, a couple of days. Let's say you do prototype in 7 days. Then, according to that saying, you need around 7 months to finish the game. So I think there is good wisdom in that. Basically, you need to be patient. You need to know that at the beginning when you're excited and you make a project and everything works and you're happy and you show that to friends and they all happy and you want to get to the project and you know make it like a real game, polish that, and add features and graphics and things like that. It takes loads of time. So it's something that you should realize when you're working on the game. And I wanted to mention about that, especially that saying got me, and I thought it's quite funny. And when, of course, you work on the game, it's good to focus on the core experience, on things that matters most, and you don't. Um, I mean, let's say you want to make a game. Let's say like there is a little guy, or let's say like Janosik. Okay, that would be easier. There is a guy who has um, objective. He has to release his friends. He has main mechanics, which is he can attack with his axe. He can shoot with pistol. He can, I don't know, swim and things like that. And those are core mechanics, and it's good to kind of make them right. And if you make them right, maybe you can add something extra. But before that, it's just not wise to add things like, let's say, fishing in the lake or something like that. It's probably cool experience, and it's but it has nothing to do with the core experience. It's something like on the side. You can go to the lake and fish and go for fishing. So it has nothing to do with game. So basically, focus on the core experience, and when all that is done, you can add other things and other small mechanics that could be quite good and can make a difference. But I suggest to do that at the end, when everything is ready and you're 100% happy with the core mechanics. We talked about do not restart project, so we know it's not a wise idea. Um, but another one, pick a deadline. Pick a deadline. It's not like a published date, but deadline would be something in your mind even that I want to finish that game in 6 months or in a year. And you can get kind of from the previous point that how many days takes to build a prototype, that might be a good indication that if you did a prototype in a couple of days, let's say like 7 days, probably deadline would be like 7 months. And it's not like a published date, but it's good to kind of, I think, announce that start working on your media channel and, at some stage announce that my deadline it's, in May or September. And usually when you close to that, probably it might be some delays. It's quite understandable. Um, you know that, Digger. We chat about Cyberpunk, but probably every game in the industry had delays. Even we don't know about those delays because there is no announced date. But usually there are some delays.
I would add
At least
something more. Usually, big productions,
in
almost
production, I think.
uh, every game is including the time that there's most certainly will be delay. So they are already add this to the release date.
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
they still adding after this. So keep in mind that you probably you will be releasing your game after this date. This is how it is.
It is. Yeah, but at the beginning, probably it would be. It will give you good indication, and you will know that you want to produce something in 6 months, 7 months, and it might eventually take more. But I think it's the kind of mindset. If you have that mindset and the plan, eventually you will finish the game, because that's the subject we're talking today, how to finish the game. So picking deadline would be a good idea. And I have tip, like announce that deadline to public, and but be prepared for the delay. So I think we covered that pretty much. But the last point, it's pretty interesting, and that's something from my experience as well. Uh, be prepared for last 10%. And the last 10%, it's really 90%. That's that's almost the rule. Because when you think the game is finished, almost finished, and you think in terms of content, uh, and you probably need to add one more boss and work a little bit on some levels, and you feel it's almost the end, then you realize that you have to add menus, or some UI or audio or controls, or you want to improve few things in the game, or if you um, have a social media channels, you want to make some videos, trailers, gifs, promotions, or promotion materials, that will add to that time. And it's crazy, in the last, I don't know, couple uh, week of work, everything adds together, and it might be big pressure. It might be big pressure. And I heard that some people actually might give up at this stage when everything is almost ready, but it's so overwhelming. It's too much work, and the last 10%. That's why they say the last 10%. It's 90%. I don't know if you had that experience before working on some project, Digger.
Actually, this point was the question I wanted to ask.
Oh, really?
Because yeah, because we can make a whole stream about this. This subject is really huge. Uh, how to not finish your game, but how to release it, because those two things, as you said, it's a bit different. Okay, 10%, it might be 10%, but there is so much work to do, so much stuff to like polish to make the game compatible, for example, because something doesn't work for some people, and this stuff, it just takes a lot of time and efforts. So, and there's many things like this. For example, how release your game on Steam, how release it
Yeah.
on, I don't know, on some other sites, how make it compatible, how to do all this stuff. This is
I I had maybe I have answered to one of your questions, how to release game on Steam, and it happened to me. I thought actually it will be quite simple process, uh, and I thought I will focus on finishing the game, and then when the game will be ready, I will do all the steps to release game on Steam. And I thought probably it will take, I don't know, 10 minutes or something like that. But oh, how stupid I was. Um, Basically, it takes much more time, because even process of registration, it's much longer because it's a like a real business. So you have to set up some kind of business, and you need to provide some numbers, uh, mm, tax numbers or things like that, and they have to confirm that. It takes time, and eventually, so, depends probably on situation, but in some cases it's, I don't know, a week. In some cases it's a couple of weeks. I think for me it took a month to confirm those details. And when you have all that, you will have access then to back end of Steam for creators. And there are lots of different images that you have to prepare in different sizes and things like that. So it took me loads of time as well to prepare them, and that was big delay. You know, like banner or small icons or things like that. But it's loads of them, and of course, when we have all that ready, there's one more thing, which is how to upload the game and test it, download it, and play it through the Steam. So that was a little bit tricky as well, and I had to find some solutions, especially for Construct. Um, I wasn't exactly sure. I found some answers, but maybe even for all the games, it's not exactly clear how to do that. Eventually, I understood how to do that, and I used their software, and I sent that, and I was able to play it. And it took me loads of time anyway. So it's not so easy. Be prepared that um, getting game on Steam, it takes, I think, at least month. So it's good to sort out uh, all uh, the Steam. I don't know how to say that. Um, like details and things like taxes and things like that. It takes at least a month to run a game. But I would say, to be on the safe side, do that, I think, at least 3 months before they're releasing the game. If you have a date release, um, do that at least 3 months. So it takes month and a half to have everything sorted, and then you can even test it. It takes time. You will be much more relaxed when you release the game, when you know it's working and it's not on the announced date. So test that, check it out, see whatever people say on the internet, how to upload the game, and then you can do that. Uh, but it's tricky one. It's a tricky one. And that's why I mentioned the last 10%. It's really 90%. So it seems funny, but it's very real.
I bet that the game is, after release, the game is still not ready because people are finding bugs and that were not detected before.
Yeah.
So, how long does it take? Is it even a finished process? For example, for you, for Janosik one, uh, how long does it take to finish the game like 100%? After
Uh, it,
because you
it might be
publish it,
never
right?
finished, but it all depends on community then, I think, because for solo developer, it's very hard to find all the books because you play in kind of in your way, and it's very tricky because you know your own game. So it we need people who didn't even saw that game, and it's good to have some feedback. So what I did, basically, I gave the game to my sister. my brother-in-law before release, to a couple friends, and they were able to tell me a few things, and I fixed them. But even after that, when I released the game, there were a couple things that I added to the game. Um, there were a couple bugs, not so big, but one big thing I added to the game was uh, that when you have your keyboard, not everyone like default settings for the keyboard or for the gamepad. They wanted to change them by themselves, map the keys on the
Yeah.
keyboard. So after that, after maybe month, I was still working on the game and I added this feature, and um, it was good thing. People many people were happy, but I think as well. I didn't think about that at the beginning, but there are people who are disabled and they don't play like everyone else. They play that in different way. So it's good if they have that ability to map the keyboard um, or um, or the gamepad.
Mm,
So
yeah, yeah.
so and then there was one person there that mentioned about that, and I did that basically for that person. Really, I thought I have to do that. I have to do that, and later on, someone else actually sent me an article what I can do for disabled people to make the game easier for them. So there is couple things, and one of the top one it's making the keyboard and the gamepad fully uh, uh, adjustable. So you can, if you don't like the default jump button, you can change that to the different one. Basically, that's what it is.
Mm. I have one more. We are.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Go
think
ahead. Go ahead.
we don't have a time, but I think I'll ask one question.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, we do that. We do that.
uh, you mentioned about building prototype and this whole time that one day is 1 month. Uh, how an experienced person can, for example, when you also were mentioning about planning everything. So
Yeah.
how an inexperienced person can make a plan if all those numbers, 1 day, 1 month, etc., it might be absolutely random number. It doesn't apply to every person, right? So is there like
Yes.
solution or answer for that, or planning is just a fictional sentence in this industry?
Um, so your question is for an experienced person who wants to start making a game, and um, this person wants to kind of make a plan and prepare a deadline, and if this person wants to have a kind of indication how long it takes to finish the game, um, what we can advise to that person, or um, well, um, probably all the plans are changing, so but it's good to plan anyway. So in summary, maybe I just do in summary what you can do. Um, the very thin first thing when you start working on the game, it's a um, what do you call this? Um, oh, it slipped from my mind, but I have that somewhere here. Um, you have to have um, first version of the game. What we call that? Digger?
Prototype?
Prototype. Yes. Oh, it's too hot, and that's why my mind it's not thinking. But it's good to start with prototype. And when you start the prototype, and you will get excited and you will know what the game is all about, and you're happy with all mechanics, that might be a good indication how long it will take to finish the game. And go with that saying, how many days you do the prototype, that's how many months you will have it will take to finish the game. So
Creating a plan should be after creating the prototype?
I think yes. I think yes. Creating plan would be after the prototype, because creating prototype sometimes it's kind of like a hobby project, or it you don't really know if you want to do that. But after making a prototype, when you get some feedback, then you might get into that, and it's your first game. Basically, we're talking about person who never did a game, is unexperienced, and it's playing a little bit with mechanics, with different even different engines, and at the end that person probably goes through the tutorial and makes some kind of tutorial game, and gets excited. And when the person gets a little bit more experience, then you will get probably some idea what you want to do. And in that case, would be good to make a prototype, and from prototype, then you can, after prototype, you can start planning, and you can plan all the things like graphics, time wise, how long it takes to do this and that, and things like that. But I would say make a prototype first.
Okay. So I think we don't have more time. We already more streaming more than 1 hour. So I think we will end it with this.
We will end it here,
Yeah.
and I will see you guys next week from Ireland this time. And well, I wish you a great day. Have a look on the other Retrovibe games developers. They're every day here from Monday to Friday, and they have great games, and I recommend them. They're great. So thank you very much. That's it from me. Thank you very much, Digger, for nice chat and great ideas here.
Thank you.
And I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye. Take care.